Give it a horse sense not to go wandering off in the TULLIES with worthless cowpokes.
In the TULLIES means out in the country somewhere where a grass called tullie grass grows, which grows somewhere, wherever they got the expression from. Typically this will be called out in the sticks or out in the boondocks. Again, the idea is it's somewhere far away from the city, in the middle of the woods, out in the countryside, out in the middle of nowhere. What do they also call it? Yonder, yonder out in the holler. There's different ways of expressing this concept of being in a very rural area away from mainstream society and in a possibly a rural society, but maybe not even in a rural society, maybe in the wilderness. A holler is an area between the mountains where in the Appalachian Mountains where there's one way in, there's one way out, and where people live there and they're very isolated. It's short for hollow. Hollow is an area in between mountains. It's a valley in between mountains. There's a book called Sleepy Hollow, which is about a hollow in a town in upstate New York. A holler would be the same word, except these would be people that live in West Virginia and that live in Kentucky. Appalachian people, mountain people, hillbillies. Typically these terms, out in the stoolies, out in the sticks, these are terms that are used by people from the city to refer to areas out in the country or to refer to people who live out in the country. So there's a certain form of condescending type behavior where the city people think that they're better than the country people. And this isn't just in the United States, this is a worldwide phenomenon. Anywhere you go, people from one area, they think that they're better than people from another area. And whether you're in Korea or India or any part of the world that you go to. This is called a city metropolitan attitude. So this term TULLIES, this comes from a weed that grows in country areas in California and other areas in the West, but which typically does not grow well in city areas. I decided I wanted to write a book. So I rented a cabin out in the TULLIES somewhere. I don't even know where it was, but it was way out there somewhere where I could get privacy so I could write my book. But I had to cut my own wood. I had to ride a bicycle just to get electricity. So I spent most of my time just surviving and very little time actually writing the book. This friend of mine, he bought a house out in the TULLIES of Maine somewhere. And I thought once we got to the border of Maine that we were almost there, but that's not true. It took another 7 hours of driving through Maine to finally reach this place out in the TULLIES somewhere. Unbelievable. ESL-fullsteamahead.com